Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Mike here, or Personal Growth Now, welcoming us to another fantastic video. Now, in this video, we are talking about the comfort zone as it pertains to relationships. This is a two-part series, and this is part 2 to the series of the comfort zone. So we're talking about the comfort zone as it pertains to relationships specifically. Key points we will be discussing include what exactly is the comfort zone, the hallmarks that destroy relationships, 5 key aspects of a safe relationship, which is one of my favorites, and then finally, we will later talk about the 3 ways to begin improving the quality of a relationship now. So what exactly is the comfort zone as it pertains to relationships? Well, simply put, there's a lack of growth. There's a lack of harmony and growth. There's no harmony. There's no inner resonance. You're not on the same frequency. What can happen is oftentimes you know that you are treading along the comfort zone in any and all relationships if the relationship is growing stale. Now, this is the time that some of you may need to walk away from a certain type of relationship, especially if it's not serving our well-being. But then other times, we don't necessarily have to walk away. We just have to start taking new actions. So now we're talking about the hallmarks that destroy relationships. Now, I'm talking about specifically here romantic relationships in this video. But again, you can fill in the blank. This could be a business relationship. This could be a relationship with a family member, coworker, anything like that. So you fill in the blank. It could be a relationship even with a close family relative or a friend. But as it is in my own life, I'm pertaining this to romantic relationships. The hallmarks that destroy relationships, here we go. There's no new action. We've already talked about that. That's with the comfort zone. There's stunted growth. A lot of the behaviors are the exact same. You'll notice that it's a lot of the same behaviors, which that can grow stale pretty fast. Another one on here is that you both have vastly different values. Do you know your values? You must write down and list your top 3 to 5 values and know exactly what they are for you. So vastly different values is definitely a hallmark that destroys relationships and causes them to grow stale. The final one here is you're not spending enough time on yourself. Think about that. That destroys relationships faster than anything, is that you are not spending enough time alone. You're not spending enough time on yourself and with yourself. Now, I'm talking about being productive, although sometimes this can lead to different entertainment, which is okay. But we must not consistently and constantly rely upon somebody else, because, see, that's when things usually get a little bit dicey. The actions of not being able to be by yourself, those things lead to cheating, lying, stealing, and keeping things from your partner, everything like that. So this is why it's crucial to understand these topics and to be able to sit in a quiet room alone without it affecting you in a negative manner. You must practice the art of being patient with others and yourself. I've noticed that the relationships that fail the most, those are people that need to be constantly entertained. Those are the people that cannot spend more than 5 to 10 minutes alone by themselves. That will absolutely destroy a relationship. Yes, we must grow in harmony with others and receive the goodness that God wants to give us to and through those people. But are you giving to yourself? Are you treating yourself the way that they're treating you, perhaps? Oftentimes the answer is no. So definitely check in with yourself on that. You see, in any relationship, the law is create or disintegrate. We're either growing or we're dying. And included in that are romantic relationships, business relationships, family relationships, relationships of all kinds. We're either growing or we're dying. So what new actions are we taking to harmonize? And like I said, my friends, sometimes we must actually realize that the energy is not being reciprocated in the manner that we wish, and we must cut all ties. Moving on to my favorite topic, which is the 5 key aspects of a safe relationship. So the 5 key aspects, number 1 is feeling heard. Number 2 is feeling like you can be fully vulnerable. Number 3, we're going through these pretty quickly, so you might want to take some notes here. Number 3 is you feel seen. Number 4, you feel supported. And finally, number 5, you feel like you can talk about your aspirations and goals without being minimized. Study these 5 key aspects of a safe relationship and apply them in your life for a more happy, joyous, harmonious relationship. So what are 3 ways that we can begin improving the quality of a relationship now? Well, the first one is what I call growth. And this can be doing new hobbies together, discovering new environments in nature, doing road trips or some sort of trip or vacation, visiting new restaurants, going out to eat, cooking and eating new foods. These are all new actions and new behaviors. You might even want to consider growing in the sense of creating art together. This could be any form of art, including music. So we're talking about the 3 ways that we can begin improving the quality of a relationship now. And number 2 is contribution. Now this one is perhaps my favorite, pretty self-explanatory, but you contribute oftentimes through the use of your time, through your attention, through helping out without being asked, and also through gifts. Giving to your partner or whoever else you're giving to in this relationship for the sheer joy of giving. Giving without expecting a return. And finally here, number 3 is affection. Once again, pretty self-explanatory. You do this through listening. You can do it through physical touch. Also, one here I wrote down that I really like is showing interest. Like, how oftentimes do we really sit back, relax, and tell our partner, or just tell anybody whom we're referring to in whatever relationship you're referring to as well, that you may be currently struggling with. How often do we show interest in what they enjoy? And I'm really talking about showing a deep genuineness. If they're into reading, perhaps ask them about the current book that they're reading, or really just showing interest if they're into certain type of music or art, really getting involved with that on a very deep and meaningful level. Thank you for tuning into this podcast. And finally, wrapping this video up, I want to give my own thoughts and opinions really quick on this topic. Now, whenever it comes to the comfort zone in relationships, all summed up, I can tell you the number one thing that causes relationships to go downhill is complacency. It's whenever you are no longer in the state of true gratitude and appreciation. We start taking things for granted, so it is definitely complacency. That is what I believe absolutely destroys and disintegrates any relationship. So may I encourage us that we are to live in harmony with our own vibrational frequencies. We must spend the time and be willing to spend the time on ourselves and alone and discover our integrity and discover what our true values are. And if whom we're in those relationships with, if they clearly do not have the same values, morals, and beliefs that we do, then one of 2 things happens. They either choose to willingly rise up to meet your values and standards, which is quite rare, or we move on to greater, greener pastures and discover some of the people that have the same values as we do, who we align best with. Now, the great motivational speaker and life coach Jim Rohn was once quoted saying, "You don't make people good, you find them good." Now, he was referring to relationships as it pertains to the business setting. You don't make people good, but you already find them good and well equipped. And that's what makes the best business partners and business associates. But think about that as it pertains to all relationships, including the romantic kind. It's just food for thought. Think about that as you go on throughout your days. You don't have to make people good. You already find them in a place of good and well-being. Thank you for tuning into this video. We will have a surprise topic next week. Thank you for tuning in once again. This is Mike, or Personal Growth Now. Thank you for watching this fantastic video, and we will see you in the next one.